Hello and welcome back to Radiator Springs Raceway. This course seems to be a hit with players because I've heard that some of you have built this in 2.0 and you've been playing it online with your friends, and I've even seen a video of it that someone posted, and I've heard that some of you are also planning to post some videos of that. So it's been a lot of fun for me to hear about that and to watch you guys enjoying it. So thank you for sharing that, and I appreciate that a lot. It's nice to know that my creations are appreciated, and it's really a lot of fun watching you guys online enjoying it. So thank you for sharing that. I'm here with Holly Shiftwell, and today I'm going to put the finishing touches on this race course. But before I do that, I want to come down here to the end of town because I forgot to show you guys something last time, and that is these buildings here that I've added. If you noticed, they were there at the end of the last video, but I never covered them, so I just want to show you what I've done. These buildings are sitting right up next to the bounding box for Luigi's and the body paint body shop here, and they're sitting about a block back off of the road. And I'll pick one of these up. This is the Bistro building from Building Sets Group 2, and I've got two of them on this side of the road. And in the middle, I've got the Florist building, which is right next door. So these two buildings are the ones I'm using. And on the other side, I've just reversed that. So there's one of the red ones in the middle and two of the gray and green ones on either side. And that just kind of finishes off that end of the road a little bit, that end of the street in town, so I like that. But now let's add in the rest of the track features, and these will be pretty easy to add. As I've said all along, this isn't my most creative course. I've already built the canyon jump out over that way, and the shortcut over by Willie's Butte, and the intersection here in town. So those are already done, and the rest of the features are pretty simple. So we're going to start over here just around this turn with some boost pads. And I'm going to come out of Spark mode here. We're going to go up to the racetrack pieces drawer to the boost pad. And I'm going to place these down here on the road, oriented that way with the arrows pointing up the track there. And we're going to place these right over here about like that. So they're just past this little diagonal streak and before you reach the terrain seam. So I'll give you an idea. That's just long enough for you to come out of this curve and get straightened around before you head down the track. And then down on this end, we're going to place some weapon generators. So we'll come up to the Creativitoys drawer for that, to the vehicle weapon generator. And I'm going to put these out here about like that. We're going to put 3 of them across the road. And once again, remember you have to come into the properties for each of these and turn on the auto spawn pickups, or these toys will not do anything. So that's very important. And I personally like to add some vehicle weapon generators around the course because that just adds such a fun element to the races. Okay, and then we come around the corner, and our first major obstacle is the Dust Devil. And if you're on 2.0 recreating this, you're probably not going to be able to do it because you don't have the path creator. So I'm not quite sure what you want to do. You can come up with your own solution, I guess. But I'm going to do this right off of the corner of this terrain seam here for the radiator cap. I'm going to back it up just a little bit. We're going to come halfway, a little bit more than halfway, and put this right on the ground, just like that. And I want this to go clockwise. So if we come about like this, that's about how far we need to go in this direction. And I want to be across from there. And if you don't get it exact, that's okay. doesn't have to move in a perfect circle. Because the player's never going to know that it's not a perfect circle. And we're going to close the loop, and all the rest of the properties I'm going to leave. And actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and set the speed on this to the maximum of 300. All right. And then we need, and that looks pretty good, by the way, just kind of looking at it. I eyeballed it. It's not quite a perfect circle, but again, it doesn't need to be. The next thing we need is the Dust Devil itself, the Whirlwind, and you'll find that under the Platforming Toys drawer. I'm just going to drop this out here like that. And we'll come into Spark Mode, go into the Logic menu for this, and we're going to do a new path connection. And we're going to connect it up here to the path. And it immediately starts going around the path. And you can adjust that speed however you like. If you think that's too fast, you can make it go a little bit slower. If you want it to go even faster, you can set the speed properties on the toy box path properties on the Whirlwind itself. So I think 300 is pretty good. That moves at a good clip and makes it a good obstacle to try to avoid. And that's it for the end of this toy box. Everything else along this course has already been built. The bridge, the canyon jump. And the next thing that we come across are some boost pads over here. So once again, we'll come down to the racetrack pieces. And we're going to line this up about with this skid mark there, the really dark one. So just like that. And the boost pads are kind of necessary because that shortcut is so short compared to this way. And next, let's go ahead and add in some more vehicle, oops, it's up under the Creativitoys drawer. We want to add some more vehicle weapon generators. And we're going to put these down about like this. And once again, don't forget to set the property on this. And I like having these right before the intersection, because that makes the intersection potentially even more interesting. And if you wanted to give the player a little bit more of a heads up, you could back these up a little bit. Put them a little earlier in the course in that direction. So then the player picks those up and they come around the corner. And then we've got a long straightaway here. So we can go ahead and put down some boost pads over this way. And we'll go ahead and do that. And I'm going to set this up right past this seam. We got to give the player a little bit of time to get straightened out. So we're going to move this up about like that. And then put a few more down a little bit further down the track. And I'm going to put them across from this cactus over here. Right before the terrain seam that runs underneath meters. And that'll get the player down to this corner and make this turn a little bit tricky. And then as we come around the corner, we'll put a couple more boost pads over here. And we'll spin that around, make sure we point it in the right direction. I want it after that terrain seam that's over here. And we're going to put this about like that. Okay, and that's it for the main track. And then for the shortcut, we're going to put in another whirlwind. And I thought this would be really good. Let me grab my screenshot here so I know where this goes. So we'll come back up to the Gameplay Toys drawer and go back to the left and pick up the Path Creator. I'm going to put this down about right, let's see, about right there, I suppose. And now this one, let's see, which way do I want to do it? We'll go the opposite direction with this one. So I'm going to bring this out this way, about the middle of the track. Oops, exit. Trying to get back into Spark mode, and I'm not even out of the point editor yet. And we might have to tweak that a little bit. Under Properties, we're going to close the loop. Again, I'm going to set this to be 300. And let's see what we got. Well, that actually doesn't look too bad. This point over here, though, is a little bit wonky. Let's bring that out to the middle of the track over here. And let's bring this one out this way a little bit further. Yeah, that might be a little too far. I just got to play with it. That looks pretty good. And then once again, it's the same thing we did with the other one. So under the Platforming Toys drawer, we'll drop this over here. New path connection. Toy box path. And there we go. That one now moves in the opposite direction. So it's not quite the same as the other one. And there we go. Radiator Springs Raceway is done. I'm going to take a break for the next few weeks to enjoy the nice spring weather, but when I return on Friday, April 23rd, we'll move on to the next course in my Toy Box Racing Cup, the Morro Bay Speedway, which is probably the most creative course that I've built so far. I'll be sharing some new tips and tricks in that one, so be sure to come back for that. Until then, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you've been enjoying this series so far. If so, please give this video a like and leave a comment to let me know. I appreciate all the feedback that I get. I'm also curious which course you like better, the Hawaiian Grand Prix or Radiator Springs Raceway, so leave a comment and tell me your favorite so far. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel or follow me on my blog if you haven't already done that, so you don't miss my videos when they resume. And stay tuned for the preview trailer of my next series that I'll post on Friday. That'll be my last video before my break. Well, that's all for me today. Take care.